Hi, Steve here with digitalphotographygear.com, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Canon 7D Digital SLR. This camera is a great choice for a serious hobbyist or even professional as well. It's Canon's most advanced APS-C sensor SLR, and I'm just going to go over some of its physical features, talk about its image quality and performance a little bit, and give a little comparison between the 60D and the 7D, and also between the 7D and the 5D Mark II. So when you buy the 7D, you're going to get a couple accessories, nothing real fancy, just a couple different cables, AV cable, USB interface cable, neck strap, and of course an instruction booklet along with some various Canon software like their EOS solution disk. Oh, and also a body cap here that just fits right on there to protect it when you're not shooting and you don't have a lens on there. So on the front of the 7D, you're going to find the Canon EF-S mount. It takes any Canon EF or EF-S lens. It has a nice big solid grip here. It's rubberized on the outside, so definitely feels good in the hand. It's a solid build quality. It's made of a magnesium alloy frame, and and it is weather and dust resistant, not waterproof by any means, but it does seal out dust and moisture fairly well. So I'm just going to outfit it with a lens here. This is the Canon 24-105 f4L-IS. It does not come with this lens, you have to buy it separately, but that's what it looks like with the lens attached. And on this side you have a couple little rubber flaps that can just kind of pry out and swing out of the way with various ports, and like a HDMI, AV out, external microphone, and you also have a PC sync port and remote shutter release as well. And on the other side is just the hatch for the compact flash card. It's UDMA compatible, so it can take nice fast write speeds. And going on the back of the camera, you have a nice big 3-inch LCD. It's sharp, it's bright, has a good viewing angle, and the colors are nice and bright. So it's really nice. You have various buttons over here that do a bunch of different menu functions and whatnot. I'm not going to go over all of them with you right now, but yeah, they do a bunch of different things. You also have a dial here with a center button, a little joystick for navigating your way around the menu, or if you're zooming in, you're reviewing a picture, you can navigate your way around like that. And also there's a dedicated live view and movie mode switch here with a little start-stop button in the middle as well. So that's really nice. It's a nice added convenient feature. At the top of the camera you have your mode dial with your power switch right here. You have a hot shoe for an external flash, and also a pop-up flash. They give you a pop-up flash. The button is right here. You just press that and the flash pops up. And of course you also have, you see a LCD readout display here. Shows various information about your settings, shutter speed, aperture, ISO, drive mode, white balance, metering mode, how many shots you have remaining, things like that. It's really handy. And of course your shutter button up here, and another dial as well. And on the bottom you have a tripod mount hole and the compartment for the LP E6 battery as well. So one thing that I really like about the 7D is its performance. It has really nice autofocus, really nice frame rate. It has dual Digic 4 processors in it, so the frame rate is a pretty fast 8 frames per second, and you can shoot continuously in JPEG at 8 frames per second for 126 pictures, and if you're shooting RAW you can shoot at a continuous 8 frames per second for 15 pictures. So it's definitely a nice thing to have if you're shooting fast-moving subjects like sports or wildlife, something like that. And what's also nice is its autofocus is very very advanced. And before I go into the autofocus, I just want to show you what 8 frames per second sounds and looks like. And that would be this. And they also have a slower continuous burst mode, which sounds more like this. So if you don't need the 8 frames per second, you can slow it down to something slower, which is a nice added feature. But like I was saying, the autofocus is really advanced. It's really nice. It's a 19-point autofocus, and it's selectable, different types of modes. You have zone mode, spot mode, AF selection point with expansion. Yeah, just very advanced autofocus in this camera, and that's really nice. And it's fast, it's accurate, and yeah, rarely misses focus. So yeah, the image quality is good. It's not going to be as nice as a full frame SLR. You're not going to have the richness and dynamic range of a full frame, but in terms of APS-C sensors, this is definitely a very good quality. And it is the same exact sensor that's in the 60D and the Digital Rebel as well. So it's not a truly professional grade image sensor, but it does a fine job for some professional work, and also for if you're a serious hobby, this will be just fine for your needs. A lot of people compare, when they're thinking about getting a Canon SLR, they compare the 60D to the 7D. And just a few differences between the 60D and 7D. The 7D has a better build quality. Like I mentioned, it's a magnesium alloy body. The 60D is aluminum and a polycarbonate resin, so not quite as rugged. And the 7D is also has better weather sealing as well. The performance of the 7D is also better than the 60D. It has a higher frame rate and more advanced autofocus, and better noise reduction algorithms for higher ISO. So there are certain features of the 7D that you're just not going to get with the 60D. However, it does share the same exact sensor, so image quality is going to be about the same. It's more performance features that you're going to get with the 7D. When you compare the 7D to the 5D Mark II, it's kind of a similar comparison to the 60D, for the one major difference that the 5D has a full frame sensor, so you're going to get better dynamic range, richer, more contrasty colors, better image quality. However, the performance of the 7D does best that of the 5D. Like in the 60D, it has more advanced autofocus, higher frame rate. The frame rate of the 5D is 3.9 frames per second, and the 7D is, like I mentioned, 8 frames per second. 19 autofocus points in the 7D versus 9 points of focus in the 5D. So yeah, like again, the image quality is not on par with the 5D Mark II, but the performance is much better. So if you're shooting things like fast-moving nature or sports, or things that run around like kids or pets or something, I definitely recommend the 7D. If you're shooting more stationary subjects like portraits or landscapes, the 5D will probably suit your needs better. But overall, the 7D is a really fantastic camera. Yeah, great performance, like I mentioned, good image quality, and yeah, good solid build quality as well. And one accessory that I always recommend when you're purchasing a digital SLR is a battery grip, and for various reasons. The number one reason being that the battery grip, it doubles your battery life because it holds 2 batteries as opposed to 1, and it just pops right in where your battery would go, and it screws into the tripod mount hole. And this is the BG-E7 battery grip, by the way, made by Canon. And another good thing about a battery grip is it gives a good balance to the camera, especially if you're shooting in portrait mode. There's a set of dials and control buttons up here as well, so you're not shooting like this, it's more comfortable to shoot like this. So I put a battery grip on all my cameras, and I definitely recommend it to others as well, unless you have small hands and it just adds too much bulk and weight for your taste, but that's more of a personal preference. Yeah, so overall I definitely recommend the 7D, especially if you need the performance of the advanced autofocus or the fast frame rate of 8 frames per second. Definitely a real strong camera in that category. So thanks for watching, and I hope I've helped you decide on your next digital SLR. And join me next time when I review some more gear and talk about some more photo subjects here on digitalphotographygear.com.